Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I am hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So right off the bat, I want to discuss why I call this storm a destructive storm in a title. That may be seeming a bit sensationalizing, but let me tell you, usually I wouldn't call this snowstorm, winter storm, a destructive storm, even in a winter time, unless it was a very strong one. But really, the early season storms, snowstorms, are the ones that are usually the most destructive and don't even have to be powerful, which in this case the storm is also powerful, in order to be destructive. And the reason for that is, well, people may not be just prepared. That's just one of the little reasons, but the bigger reason is trees with leaves, snow falls on them, they weigh down their branches, and then they fall on power lines and trees and houses. So sorry, I said trees, on cars and houses. And actually, speaking of power outages, I want to look at this. You can see poweroutage.us. There's a lot of power outages in Washington, Oregon. Some of these are to do with the wildfires, but a lot of them are to do with the strong winds. There's actually been really strong winds, especially across Utah, because of the storm system. And also Wyoming, you can see, is 10,000 plus, and it's continuing to increase as this is to do with the heavy snow weighing down the tree limbs. And this will probably push into Colorado. You can see Colorado right now is at 9,000. That was just at 2,000 maybe 30 minutes ago. And I want to quickly look at the news stories. You can see heavy snow causes road closures, power outages, almost 8,000. This was as of 43 minutes ago without power. Now it's over 10,000. So this is definitely a serious situation. Let's take a look across the snowfall amounts across Wyoming and Montana and Colorado. See what has already fallen. The highest amount is in South Dakota. And right there, I just wanted to see what that one was. But you can see right there across Terry Peak, around 15 inches. I think that the highest amount of this whole snow system will fall in southern Colorado. It hasn't even begun yet there. So this is kind of the second phase of the storm, if you will, is gonna blow up across Colorado and western Denver, or western and eastern Colorado. So that is definitely something we'll have to watch for. And if we look at Montana, we already see snowfall amounts into the 10-11 inches. That is definitely significant, and you know, this isn't just the mountain areas. Some of these are just lower elevations. 4 or 5 inches of snow could definitely cause power outages, let alone, you know, a foot of snow. Obviously, this right here was a bit higher. It's still snowing across Cheyenne, and as of 8:20, it was at 0.3 inches. I'm sure it's higher now, and it's really starting to take off across Colorado. Now let's look at some of the models. The HER model, this is a high resolution forecasting model. It goes out only 18 hours, but it sacrifices its long-term forecasting for its accuracy. And if you were to look at this, that we see some snow showers and snow across Wyoming really dispersing rather quickly, at least according to this model. And I wouldn't be surprised though if this is a bit you know, quick to end this. Her model sometimes does this, and looking at the radar, it looks as if there's still a bit more activity than shown by this model at this time frame. Notice also showers and storm continuing across Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, into Illinois, Michigan. Definitely more of just a dreary day rather than a dangerous day. But for the west, it really starts taking off right here. So notice we have this kind of this low pressure move to the south. We have the wind spinning strongly, but this is where we start seeing the precipitation blossom again. You can see southern Colorado and into pushing now into eastern Colorado at around, this is late today in the evening. And for exact timing, keep your eyes on the radar and the National Weather Service, or you could go to this website. It's called tropicaltidbits.com, and go to mesoscale model and then HER model, and it takes you to this thing. And you can see that this really starts blossoming across New Mexico, Colorado. New Mexico mainly in the rain, though the northern mountains will definitely be seeing some snow as well. But the heaviest amounts really seem to be concentrated across Colorado. Notice this is now early morning hours of Wednesday, so at this point this would be 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning. You could see all of Colorado in some heavy snow, and it continues to push into Nebraska and Kansas. And it's not even over within this 18-hour time frame. It's still a lot yet to go. But let's take a look at the total snowfall accumulations up until tomorrow early in the morning. And let me tell you, the amount of snow that will fall in this short amount of time is pretty impressive. Obviously, the higher elevations will see more snow. It's cooler, but, you know, again, Denver possibly seeing up to 4 or 5 inches of snow. Boulder, Colorado, a bit more, maybe up to 8-9 inches. And the mountains, higher elevations, definitely up to 1.5 feet for sure. And this is still not the final total accumulation amounts for eastern Colorado, due to the fact that, again, I stopped it at 18, or this model stops itself at 18 hours. And as you saw, at 18 hours, it's still snowing pretty strong. And this will probably move into the Midwest as just rain, not snow. That is good news, but definitely something we'll have to watch for. Let's take a quick look at the interactive radar. This is the radar, and this is what I use, WGN. It's my local weather, local kind of source. And I take the radar is very good, so I like to look at it. This gives us a better view than the National Weather Service radar in terms of what the precipitation type is, as the National Weather Service radar is just about intensity and the different colorings of intensity. And notice that I want to take this just through this was spanning through around 5 hours. You can see it was much more widespread across Colorado and Wyoming into Nebraska and South Dakota. But again, it started dwindling rather quickly across those areas and started blossoming across northern Colorado into Denver, the western portions of Colorado, and this will slowly slide to the east, and really we'll start seeing these colors fill in quite a bit, and we're already seeing some of that starting to fill in as this flow of moisture, almost like a hose just turned on, is nearing closer to western, or nearing towards eastern Colorado. And notice that right now Denver's under some very light snow showers, nothing significant. Cheyenne is still seeing snow, and I think they will for the next few hours. But this is where things get real, and this is what her model takes to the east and just explodes across Denver, Pueblo, and into Boulder, all of Aspen, Vale, all the larger cities across Colorado, the well-known areas I just used right there. Let's take a look at the National Weather Service map. This is obviously your best source of weather. And notice there's winter storm warnings for a good portion of the state, even as far west as Utah, into northern New Mexico. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of the snow overperforms across portions of western Kansas, as right now they are only barely mentioning it in their forecast, but I think based on what the models are showing, it could be different. Right now, really nothing in Denver, as far as I'm concerned, nothing significant accumulated yet. It's still just too warm, and it's falling at a very light rate, but notice 3 to 5 inches overnight for sure, if not more. And obviously, if you go towards the west of Denver, the mountain areas, more higher elevations, the snow will be higher. You can see 4 to 8 today, 3 to 7 tonight, so that's significant. But the highest amounts will be kind of south here, around Alamosa, South Fork. Let's take a look at just a random location I'm picking right here. And you can see 5 to 9 inches, 1 to 2 inches. There's several locations that we're expecting to get ice on the forecast, 12 to 18. Let's look at western Kansas, as this could also be an area of interest. Right now they're seeing light rain, and they only have a brief mention of snow. You can see little or no snow accumulation. We'll have to see about that, because it is obviously less elevated, so it is going to be a bit warmer. But the snow could fall at a very heavy rate if it does coincide with the heaviest of the precipitation, the cold air, and that could lead to a bit of accumulation. But again, the accumulations will be just naturally limited because of the fact that it's occurring in almost summer, the snowstorm. And let's take a look now at the larger scale models and just see what the GFS, for example, is showing. So let's refresh this, go to hour 6, and look at this. So notice right now, lots of showers across the Midwest. That will continue, and you can see the GFS blows it up across Colorado, the snow, southern Colorado, northern New Mexico, and pushes it into portions of eastern Colorado as well. Really keeps it limited from Kansas and Nebraska. The HER model, the high resolution models, are pushing it further into Kansas and Nebraska. And that's interesting because that's been a trend, and when you see a trend with high resolution models, that is a bit concerning, because they are the accurate ones, if you will. So if several of them are pointing towards one thing, that could be more of a reality. Notice though, by late tomorrow, we start seeing the snow dwindle across southern Colorado. We just see lots of precipitation across Texas, Kansas, Oklahoma, and this continues to push to the east, if you will, very slowly. But what I liked and kind of thought of yesterday, and I kind of wanted to mention it, is this storm is basically going to spin itself to death across the southwest, and really you could see by Friday it's mere nothing. And as we track this through Friday and into Saturday and into the weekend, the remaining moisture does formulate into a potential cold front across the Northeast and Ohio Valley. We'll have to see how that goes. But again, pretty much nothing compared to what it formerly was. You know, very weak system after that. And after that, things look interesting, but more of a drier pattern for sure. So, you know, if you are across portions of the Midwest and you're seeing cloudiness this whole week, I'm just letting you know that it looks as if it will return back to warm temperatures and dry weather, which necessarily isn't a good thing for the West, as because of all the forest fires. But again, you know, that I'm just here to tell you what's gonna most likely happen, not what I want to happen. Unfortunately, I wish it could be the other way around, but you could see that a few phases of cooler air and warmer air. No big overall pattern, if you will, that's going to be, you know, bringing 60 degrees below or above average, it seems. So definitely some better news. You can see the heat in the West also breaks. But yeah, keep an eye out, guys, if you live in Colorado, Wyoming, western Kansas, even New Mexico, for the power outages. Just keep a track. That kind of gives you the severity of the situation. You can see right now it's 12,000 without power, almost 10,000 without Colorado. So in the 10 minutes of this recording of this video, went up by almost, what was that, 2,000? Maybe 1,000? I don't recall exactly, but yeah. So definitely, there's gonna be a lot of power outages, and that's to do with the heavy snow. So that's why this storm is going to destructive. And also, if you guys do just want to look at the total snowfall, and if you're interested, go to this. I'll put a link in the description. It tells you the snowfall reports from the last 24 hours or 48 hours, and it'll be interesting to see how these snowfall reports start coming across Colorado, see how high they get. You can see portions across Wyoming, some got 12, other areas got 7.6, but not all areas are reporting, obviously. For example, the heaviest snow in Wyoming fell across this pass right here, this little mountain range. And there's no snowfall reports from that area, but they probably will be as time goes on. There's only one in Colorado right now. It's just 4 miles northeast of Nederland, Colorado, and it's just at 1 inch, but that will quickly go up. Also, just keep an eye on the radar. As you can see, we are seeing quite a bit of snow development across just north of Grand Junction, and west of Denver. But that will continue to slide to the east, and you can see we're already looking at some activity piling up here, so that's definitely going to be interesting. But for now, obviously, that's basically it. The Midwest also will be seeing some rain and showers, so definitely something to note of. A lot of these storms may have isolated brief downpours, even some small hail, so definitely something to keep an eye out for. But overall, doesn't look like a good, a large, great, severe weather risk, so that's definitely good. And that's basically it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.